What's up, guys? This is my agent deck, and yeah, I'm gonna upload a duel of this after I upload this. They're probably gonna be uploaded in a pair, and most likely I will have also released a video detailing how agents are gonna do next format, in my opinion. Keywords, in my opinion. So this is a deck I've built, and I think that it combats what will be their next format. Big contenders next format will be Fire Fists, in which case Dark Simorgh will become popular in decks that can run it. Unfortunately, agents cannot run Dark Simorgh. Fire Kings. As far as Fire Kings are concerned, I run two bottomless trap hole, two compulsory. They don't. Now, Fire King's ring kind of messes with compulsory, so I'm just gonna have to try to get out of Christia, really. That is the best thing I can do, as that deck is pretty hard to counter. But I have Soul Drain, which is probably the best bet that I have. So I'm gonna get into the main deck right now. 3 Mystical Shine Ball, kind of self-explanatory. 1 Archlord Christia. I think 1 in the main deck is enough. If I have exactly 4 fairies in the graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand and add 1 fairy to your hand. And nobody can special summon monsters. If this card would be sent to the grave, it returns to the top of the deck instead. So if it gets bottomless, you're out of luck. But, you can add back your Honest, maybe a Herald, I don't know. Jupiter, even though you're most likely going to be banishing your Jupiter because, well, Venus first and then Jupiter, Earth last, because Earth is a tuner. I have a lot of synchros in this deck because I run 2 tuners. Because Herald of Orange Light is in fact a tuner. I run 1 Blackluster Soldier, Envoy of the Beginning. This card needs to be banned. I run a lot of lights, I run a lot of darks. So this is an obvious choice for something to run. Chaos Sorcerer, same reason as BLS, not nearly as broken. I think Chaos Sorcerer should be at 2. I think it belongs at 2. I think 3 was too many, 1 is too little, 2 I would be happy at. I don't think it belongs in any other area. Gore is the Emissary of Darkness. I don't run too many traps. I run Bottomless, Compulse, and Torrential. And if I'm playing against a meta deck, those will be used pretty soon, and Gores won't be a problem. And besides, if I have any of these 3 traps and a Gores, I doubt they're going to be getting their plays off, because these cards will most likely stop whatever they can do, especially Compulse and Bottomless. Torrential, more conditional. To the Herald of Orange Light. I don't like hand traps too much. By that I mean cards like Effect Veiler and Max C, and then to some extent DD Crow, except I think DD Crow is getting better this format. Yeah, I don't think it'll still be ran at all. It used to be ran a little bit, but Herald of Orange Light, in my opinion, is kind of like Effect Veiler on steroids, except this card has a cost, unfortunately. But the cost isn't always bad, considering you have to ditch another fairy. See, if you once you go through 1 successful Venus, Venus does nothing for you whatsoever, and that's why in Earth, and if you've gone out through all your Venuses and your Jupiter, Earth isn't doing anything for you. So you can just ditch one of those with Herald, and you're just going to set up your graveyard for Christie. 1 Honest. A lot of this deck is light. The only boss monsters in here that are not light are in the extra deck, which would be something like Dark End Dragon, Scrap Dragon, and Thought Ruler Archfiend, or Hieratic. No, never mind. Hieratic is light, so yeah. Then Master Hyperion. No, Master Hyperion is light, and then Chaos Sorcerer is kind of a boss monster, and so is Gores. Anyway, the main monster, the biggest monster, the best monster, the monster that made this deck playable was Master Hyperion. You have to banish an agent, and then you can banish 1 fairy light. I have plenty of those to destroy 1 target on the field. Only can be used once per turn, unfortunately. Sangan can search for Reaper, can search for Tour Guide, can search for Earth. can search for Herald, Honest, and I doubt you're going to be searching Shine Ball, and if you are, then I don't get why. 2 Spirit Reaper. This deck sometimes needs some setups. You need to get your agents in your hand or your graveyard or wherever you need them for Hyperion. So he can help, and plus he can generate some pluses for you. I run 1, the Agent of Miracles, Jupiter. Now, Jupiter isn't really being ran too often right now. He is a card to be ran at 1. A lot of people do. A lot of people think that is right. Once per turn, you can play 1 agent monster from your graveyard to select 1 face-up light fairy monster you control. It gains 800 attack until the end phase. If for some reason your Hyperion can't get over something, and you can't use its effect to destroy it, your Hyperion just got boosted to 3,500 attack, and I know 0 cards in the meta today that can stand up to that much. 0 cards. Probably the highest attacker is going to be Grapha, while it is boosted up by the Gates of Dark World. That is the highest attack card in the meta, considering Chaos Dragons do not run Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon that often, even though they should be, in my opinion. So, Jupiter helps boost him. It can boost itself to become 2600, which is extremely helpful in some situations, which I will get into in the end. Alright, so I run 2, the 8. Oh, by the way, one thing that would make this this card so much better is if it was a fairy monster, not an agent monster. That this card would become so much better. 2 Earth. You search out any agent, which means you search out your Venus or your Jupiter. 1 or 2, depending if you sided the second one in. And it's a tuner. Good card. 2 Tour Guide from the Underworld. You're going to be doing a lot of banishing. You can go into Levier. That is because of Jupiter and Hyperion. You can go into where is that? Levier and get him back. So also you can go for Tempo if your opponent has something like a Zen Mains, or you can go for your own Zen Mains, or you can go into a Muzzer Rhythm. I'll get into why I run Muzzer Rhythm. Excuse me. 2 Tragodia. Tragodia is great in this deck. Copy levels. You're going to be having a lot of hand advantage, considering you're going to have to be setting up, and you don't really want to overextend in that deck. So, Tragodia's good. 1 Book of Moon. I love Book of Moon. Some of you may know this, some of you haven't. Actually, probably you don't, considering this is going to be my first deck profile. I love Book of Moon with all my heart. It stops plays, it stops attacks, it can, in a way, negate an effect monster's effect. It can stop a tuner from tuning. It's a great card. 1 Dark Hole. Dark Hole is Dark Hole. 1 Heavy Storm. Heavy Storm is Heavy Storm. I run 1 Mind Control because this deck has a lot of synchro options, and it can get rid of your spare Earth because you're not going to be doing anything with that really, other than synchroing, which Mind Control will help with, because Mind Control does not say anything about tributing, and it especially doesn't say anything about exceeding, which is what it's usually used for. I run 1 Monster Reborn. Don't need to explain that, in my opinion. 3 Mystical Space Typhoon. You don't want to get your Hyperion. You don't want your Hyperions to get banished. You don't want your Christie, your Black Luster. You don't want anything to get stopped. This deck, if its plays get stopped early with something like a Bottomless or a Compulse, not really. Sometimes if you're running low on agents or Torrential or something, it's gonna be painful, especially Solemn for a card like Blackluster Soldier, because you can, or Chaos Sorcerer, considering they're both semi-Nomi monsters. So you're not going to be able to special summon them again. Compulsory, oh, sorry, I didn't go over Bottomless. Bottomless is Bottomless. Compulse, I'll say in 1 second. Torrential is good for those big plays and overextending. Can punish them for it. Windups, yeah. Also, Fire Kings don't really have too much field presence, considering they just focus on wiping out yours. And Compulse is just, I mean, if you're a Fire King player, has gone through all his Fire King rings, then he has almost no way to get rid of that, to destroy that Garunix or Reborn it or do anything, because it's in its hand and it will do him nothing there. So this can help a lot versus a lot of decks. That is, Tyrus cannot be destroyed. It doesn't say anything about being targeted in return. So Compulsive is a great card. That's 40 cards. That's my 40 card deck. So, yeah. Alright, I'm going to get into my side deck first. I run a second Archlord Christia. Christia is just a great card, very easy to run in this deck. One thing I might not have noted was that this is a budget deck, so is my 6 Samurai deck, which I will be running. Alright, that's a Ver's Rabbit I've been working on. I will probably make a video about that as well. And my 6 Samurai deck, that's also budget. So this card is a lot cheaper than it says. Don't listen to that. I run a second one if I'm playing someone like Windups. Windups is the big, good example of attack of the little monsters. So if you have this out, they're not going to be getting over that anytime soon. And a lot of them don't even decide Soul Taker. But if they do, then that kind of sucks. And also, this is an if effect, not a when effect, meaning it does not miss the timing. So don't have to worry about that. I mean, that's just... Wait. Does Sangan? I don't think Sangan can... Sangan is a when effect, but I don't think it misses timing, which is weird. Yeah, that's actually pretty weird. I don't know about that one. So, I'll look that up. I don't think Sangan can miss the timing. I don't know. Even though it is a when effect. I know if effects cannot miss timing, ever. So... But I know when do a lot of them. Alright, I'm going to save that card for later. Agent of Miracles Jupiter. I run a second one. This is a great card again. I said I'm going to get to a lot of things in the end, so if you want to just get to why I'm running some of these, just skip to the end. I don't know how long this video is going to be, probably around 20 minutes. I already talked about him. I'm running a second one for a reason I'll get into. Soul Taker, E-Hero matchup helps a lot. Helps a lot against a lot of decks, really. It's just a really great card. And if there's a monster that you don't want to get over, like another... Alright, man, this is killing me getting... Well, actually, no, I would have made the video by now. What am I talking about? I'll be right back. Okay guys, I'm back, and better than ever. So, what I wanted to get into, well, I said I'd already have made a video, which this deck list and analysis will go up after that video has already gone up. And that deck is about, can agents hold up in the meta? And one of the giant things that this deck is scared of is the Evil Swarm. This deck does not exceed almost at all. I mean, you can make your Dark Mist, and that's about it. But I mean, God, jeez, Ophion kills this deck, and you know they need something to get over it. And Jupiter is amazing. Jupiter gets 2600. That's 100 just enough to get over Ophion. Wait, yeah, 2600. That's just amazing. You know, get your free Ophion kill, and then you can sweep in with your Hyperions. Just, you know, overextend your little... I mean, they don't run too much back row outside their forbidden steroided up plants. So, Jupiter's great. Alright, this is the other card. Consecrated Light. I don't know why this deck isn't... I don't know why this card isn't ran. There is one huge downside to this, but I'll get into that. Now, the Evil Swarm literally cannot deal with this card. Neither player can normal or special summon dark monsters, or declare an attack with a dark monster. This card cannot be destroyed by battle with a dark monster, and you take no battle damage from that battle. Jeez, they can't do anything. I mean, if they already have a card on the field, it's just a matter of time until you draw a Soul Taker, isn't it? Or until you can draw your Jupiter or something to get over it. I mean, geez, Consecrated Light can just stall it up. Alright, so if you manage to get this card in defense mode, then I don't think Evil Swarm can actually get over you unless they're running Max C, which has 500 attack. Effect Veiler, that is ran by Evil Swarm, which really sucks, because Effect Veiler can point for point Consecrated Light. You really want to move Consecrated Light to defense as fast as you can, because Max C is going out of play, especially in OCG, and I expect a lot of players will be looking at OCG builds. I know I was, even though I still run Max C. So This, well, I mean, they can't get anything out. I mean, what can you do? You literally cannot do anything. And I can just keep in mind that this deck can this deck can really, really can just, it doesn't even care about your what's its dark monsters. I mean, they help a lot, but they're not needed at all. And besides, Spirit Reaper I can still set, Sangin I can still set because it doesn't negate against setting. Now, if we look at the Evil Swarms, which will be changed to Ice Swarms, so sorry about that. Bahamut is devastating. Ophion is devastating. Ouroboros, Nightmare's not that good, and neither is Thanatos, but the card I wanted to point out, I mean, nothing that they have can actually they can't stop this card. I mean, Thunderbird can't get over it, and Mandrago can't get over it. I mean, I'm saying if they can flip summon this and keep it up long enough. Caracaleon can't get over it, because, and then Heliotrope won't do much. But the card I wanted to get into is Caster. So this card isn't going to be normal summoned. It's going to be flip summoned. And I think this is just the distorted form of Consular Pollux. I know this is the Consular Sombres, and I know that they're all just distorted other cards in the dual terminal storyline, but they will have a hugely bad time getting over this unless they can top deck an effect veil or already have one in hand. Alright, system down, Geargias, you banish all their synchros, their armors, a lot of their cards, they're not going to be getting out of this, and I literally run 0 machines. Scrap Archfiend is a fiend, Scrap Dragon is a dragon, Iron Chain Dragon's a dragon, Armory Arm, okay, never mind, I won 1 machine. And that's even if I get it out, and I don't really think that that's going to be happening too often, and I really do not care to. He's such a cute little fiend. Wow. But it doesn't really, that was really feminine, sorry about that. But I don't really care about system down, it doesn't hurt me at all. Go Zen match. Alright, I thought long and hard after a math test I failed today about whether I should run Go Zen match or rivalry of the Warlords. Now, I decided on Go Zen match. Now, if I had been running Rivalry of the Warlords, that would absolutely crush Evil Swarms. But it would, I wouldn't be really doing too great against it either, considering I can live with all lights, but all fairy. I mean, and I can get my Roars out and a Tragodia out, maybe my Tour Guides out. But keep in mind that that's a spellcaster. I mean, these are all fiends, but it's just a lot easier for me to deal with only one color, or not one color, one attribute of monster. The type would help a lot. I mean, type is probably better, but I think that this deck can just work around Gozen better than it can work around around Rivalry. Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. This card is specifically for the Evil Swarm matchup. Like I said, this deck can I mean, if I side this in and Gozen, which I won't be, considering Gozen doesn't affect them at all. I mean, Shadow Imprisoning, I mean, my Dark Monsters, like I said, they're expendable. But everything in their deck, outside of a Maxi or a Veiler, is dark. And, I mean, if I have Shadow Imprisoning Mirror out, and they don't have any MSTs, which a lot of them don't, you can see my Ver's Rabbit build, actually, never mind, I run 3 MST. What am I talking about? Okay, they do run MST. But MST is only as good as it. I just take it in. I know it looks very OCG, especially the Forbidden Dress. That's extremely OCG. That's what all of them run. And then I run, yeah, doesn't really matter. But they can get over that. But really, in the end, Shadow Imprisoning hurts them. It really does. Soul Drain, that's really for the Mermail matchup, kind of for the Dark World matchup. So, that should be kind of self-explanatory. Ancient Fairy Dragon, Dark Worlds hate this card with all their heart. You keep pop, pop, pop their spell card, their field spell card, I mean, and if all their graphics are in the grave, they literally have no way of getting over this. And considering that they're a deck that goes through cards very, very fast with their Dark World dealings and stuff, I am susceptible to that as well. But with their Dark World dealings, but just they go through cards faster than me with their searching and stuff, so they'll be decking out much faster than I will. Armory Arm. Card can make level 2 synchros very easily. You can go for a Shine Ball plus any level 2 tuner, which I run a lot of, or you can copy Trag. Armory Arm, I forget what it was, but I saw someone, jeez, what was it? But someone got out, oh yeah, someone got out Obelisk the Tormentor. And this guy, he got over it with Master Hyperion plus, wait, isn't Obelisk 3000 attack? Let me see. Obelisk 4000. Yeah, alright, maybe he used Honest as well, but he used Master Hyperion plus Armory Arm plus Honest to OTK this guy. It was hilarious. Alright, this is for Chaos Sorcerer plus any tuner. Dark End Dragon, good card, sends anything to the graveyard. Great for your enemy, or your opponent, sorry. They're Maestros, they're Tempos, not their Tempos, they're Zen mains. I actually don't have barely any level 4s, so I don't run any rank 4s, but Iron Chain Dragon can make level 6s very easily as well. You can do, you know, 3 plus 2 plus 2 again. That's 7, never mind. But 4 plus 2 or Trag copy as well. Always Trag copy. You can make 6s. Magical Android, I would prefer to be running Catastrophe, but as this is a budget build, Magical Android would have to do, and since I am not synchro summoning too often, I thought this would be better than TG Hyper Librarian, considering I can actually use this card's effect, and it is a light. Scrap Archfiend's the beater, because I can go into level 7s very easily. If I'm going on the defensive, Ancient Fairy Dragon. If I'm going on the offense, Scrap Archfiend. Scrap Dragon, just Scrap Dragon. Thought Arch Ruler, I really like Thought Ruler Archfiend. I really like this card. I hate Scrap Dragon, it's a stupid card. It's not worth the time. This card can get your life points back with because of Venus, and you can negate anything that targets it. Or Magical Android. I run one Gotchi Gentetsu. You're only going to be getting one level 2. So, it's either going to be Gotchi or Dark Mist. One Hieratic Sun Dragon Overlord of Heliopolis. I've won with this card before. It is very good. You have to tribute everything you have, because if you get 2 Hyperions up and you're scared of back row and floaters and whatever they have, this card's great. One Levier, I went over Levier. Levier is amazing. One Muzzrhythm. Muzzrhythm is like Acid Golem without the drawback, but he can be susceptible to your opponent next turn. I don't really care, I run him anyway. Dark Mist gets over everything and anything that can be destroyed by battle. Tempo is Tempo, and Zen Mains is Zen Mains. I hope you enjoyed watching. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Bye.